What it do? It's your boy K Bet, aka K Trades, man. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. And if you follow the game plan, you up the 10 ball. We just upped a little 1,000% today. Nothing too crazy. Nothing crazy at all, right? So, how many times have we said it stays inside the buying channel? Keep buying calls, keep swinging them until it breaks, right? And as we can see, today literally was that. It was a test literally to that. We gapped up. Look at this, man. We got the gap close, gap down, breakout, retest, take off, right? So we did it. And we even got a little meta play today, right? So I caught a little meta 685 0 DTE at 0.58. They ended up going well over $5. I sold mine flat at five. Just 'cause I'm not trying to be greedy. Plus, when you get a one candle wick like this is crazy. I don't even know what this was about. I don't know if this was news or what, but it don't matter. It don't matter. We saw the channel, we saw the breakout, we saw the retest, and we got in. 685 was right here. They were dirt cheap in the day. Best case scenario, we bank. Worst case scenario, you lose $50, right? So $50 into 500, super simple. Just by following the charts, man. Nothing crazy. Didn't watch no news, didn't look at no charts, didn't look at no flow, no nothing. Just pure charts. So let's go over today's little recap, and then we'll do a little weekly recap because it is Friday, and then Sunday I'll probably drop the video for analysis as far as next week. So I'm just gonna go over a few things, talk a little about just keeping your mental up and how to stay strong in these markets that people seem to be like, oh, there's no method to this, right? There's no method to this. There is, right? And you just need to know how to play it, right? So first off, we had our algos yesterday, right? We had our channel, right? Our selling channel. We had the breakout, retest, right? We had our falling wedge. Those broke out. So we did end up swinging those calls going into the end of yesterday, hoping to just, get that slight gap up. I think I said about 704 to 705, and we ended up gapping way over that. I sold it open and I held one, but I wish I would have held one all the way. That thing went crazy, man. That thing was crazy. So yeah, so today was more so really just about patience, right? I'm trying to find my YouTube chart. I keep getting them mixed up. Here we go, YouTube chart. So it's my YouTube chart. So zoom out, right? Let's zoom out. Where do we end up? Right? Where do we end up? At the top of the channel, right? And these channels have been here for multi-year channels, right? Multi-year channels. We've been respecting this, so we just keep it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type mentality, right? So we ended up obviously this whole entire week gapping up, going crazy. We went from the bottom of the range to the top as far as this little, I guess you call it a broadening formation, right? A little broadening wedge, if you want to call it. We went from the bottom to the top in literally like 3 weeks. I've never seen it move like this before. This is still fairly new to me, this kind of movement, but we're still able to catch it. Why? Because we're patient. Why? Because we follow the charts. We don't care about emotions. We don't care about what the market has to do. It has to go. No, we don't care about none of that, right? So the main thing we've always looked for is just continuous breakout retest, right? We've watched for sideways action in the zones, and we've watched for the breakout and the retest of that. So same rules applied, right? Even in yesterday's video, how we talked about, hey, you don't want to get caught in the middle. If price action isn't breaking out or it's not breaking down, then you got to leave it be, right? You got to leave it be. So yesterday we got the initial breakout, right? Look, we broke out, retested. Oh no, my fault. Wednesday we got the initial breakout, retest, continuation, right? We gapped up. What do we say when we gap up? Come down, watch for the gap close, and watch for that possible gap fill rejection, right? Obviously, it's not 100%. Nothing is. But, after a while, you start to build confidence. You get these high, just high confident plays, After a while, like I said, you just get confident not only in yourself, but in the charts. You trust that the charts will do what they're, I won't say it's supposed to do, but for lack of a better word, it's supposed to do, right? This is just high probability setups, right? Nothing's 100%. But if we have a very good possibility of it, right? If we're in a bullish market, what happens in a bullish market? We get breakout, retest. We get breakout, retest. And this one, it was just very extreme, right? So I don't blame you. If you sat on the sidelines this week, or if you didn't catch as much as you'd like. I didn't catch as much as I like this week. This week could have been, yeah, I could have talked to my kids about this one, so we still stayed inside of these aggressive buying channels, right? So what do we say? As long as we do not lose these channels, then I had no intentions of shorting this market, right, at all. So Right, so today, boom, we get the gap up. And one thing, what I always say, right, when I go live and we do live trading, I always say make sure you have your extended hours on because it can show you, um, how price reacted overnight, right? And because we're at all-time highs, we need these levels, right, to give us some sort of confirmation on where we're buying, what are we doing, and we kind of got that, right? So initially, look, we got the pre-market high yesterday, not yesterday, but Thursday's close. Wednesday's close, my bad. Wednesday's close, and then pre-market high yesterday, right? That was our zone for yesterday. We caught the trap. We caught the gap close trap. We caught this move yesterday, right? We kind of let it do its thing. We swung calls. Why? Because we still got a breakout retest above previous day's close. So as long as that continued to hold, not to say obviously it had to gap up, but you have a high probability that it will gap up, right? So we did that. Boom, we gap up. What do we continue to do? We continue to squeeze up. Mind you, it was OPEX, right? So all the options contracts were expiring. Where was majority of the positions at? Shorts. Everyone was trying to short. So what would the market makers want to do? Squeeze those shorts to end all those puts worthless, right? So with knowing that, you have to realize, if they want to squeeze it and cook all the shorts, I'm not going to short, right? I'm going to be on the other side, right? Waiting for, what do we want? A breakout, a retest, right? So we did get a slight breakout retest of the trend line, the one that the overall trend line, which was actually pretty dope. But I didn't take this one, right? I only took the first one, right? So the first breakout retest, we took this one because we had a ceiling, right, in pre-market, right? And this is why I say leave your pre-market levels on because they can really help you, right? So we had the ceiling, and this is all happening pre-market, right? We can't touch it yet. We can't touch it. So we're watching the reactions in pre-market, and this is why I say turn your extended hours on. They will give you some clues, I'm not all the time, but pretty much for the most part, right? Especially if we get any kind of price action. If we're getting huge gap ups and stuff like that, you still got to kind of be patient with it. But what do, right? We came out, very first play of the day, sold off where? To the old ceiling. But now it's not a ceiling anymore. It's now the floor. So this is now your support. What did we do? We waited for it. What did we get? The same thing we've gotten every day this week. Every single day this week, we've gotten one of these plays. A sweep of the low, right? We swept the low. Closed up here. And what do I always say in live? If you know this, you know. Do not pay attention to the wicks. We care about where the candle closes. The candle could come all the way down here, right? And go all the way down here and go. But if it doesn't close, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. If you're not, some instant, super quick, scalp in and out 1 second, it doesn't matter. So especially if you're looking to catch the counter move of where the trap is, right? Especially knowing today was OPEX. So you had the floor, now the ceiling, all right? I mean, vice versa. You had the ceiling and now the floor. Breakout, retest. What was our first target? High of day. I'm teaching you guys this every single day. Target, high of day. Breakout, retest, trick, trap, squeeze, right? So if the market is bullish, that's what it's going to do. And then vice versa if the market was bearish, right? So we got the trick, trap, breakout, retest, and then we kind of just let it go, right? We let it go for here because we were still inside of this buying channel. 1 second. Let me show you. We were inside of the buying channel, right? From here to here. So what do we say? Once this aggressive buying channel fails, then we'll go ahead and get out of our swings, and hold our zeros and stuff like that, because we don't know what it's going to do after that. It could have went aggressive selling, it could have went reversal. We don't know, but it's not for us to know. It's just for us to protect our capital, protect our gains. So we took that off the table, protected that, and then today was kind of like yesterday. Towards the end of the day or after kind of lunchtime, it kind of just chop. But I did end up catching an end of day play on Meta and on SPY with this. This is crazy. Yeah, this one, two 10x's in the same day. That's crazy. That's crazy work. But I just want to go over some stuff real quick as far as like helping with your mental and stuff like that. So a lot of people when they trade, they don't have a game plan, right? So whenever I'm trading, even a lot of the reasons why I make these videos is not only for you guys, but for myself as well. I go back and rewatch my own videos because sometimes I'll get in my head when the market's open, right? When the market's open, I'm kind of like, all right, that rush is getting, everybody's posting gains, everybody in the Discord, everybody's going crazy. But you still need to have a game plan for whatever side you're going to be in, right? If you are going to go short, you need to have a game plan. Hey, this is where I'm going to get in. This is where I'm going to get out. No ifs, ands, buts, right? You have to do that. So if you did take that short off of this sweep of this range, right? If you did take this, right, look, you got your breakdown, your retest. If you did take that little scalp, you had to be out quickly, right? You had to, because we still are protecting they're still not protecting. They're still cooking all the shorts because it's just, they didn't want to break down because look, the same thing that happened in pre-market where we had the ceiling that turned out to be the floor, right? Same thing, ceiling turned out to be the floor. So when we came back, it became the floor, it became support instead of that resistance. So once we did that, you had to kind of have a game plan, not only in your head, but you needed to see that on the charts, right? You needed to see that. So in between here, I always tell you guys, don't diddle in the middle. Don't diddle in the middle. So I put do not touch, do not touch. We were live around this time when I was going over this. So once we got the initial breakout, remember I told you guys, hey, always watch for a little sweep first. Got the breakout, a little two-leg pullback, swept, new highs. But there was no continuation. So once we saw there was no continuation, we said, hold on. No continuation, they're not going to take our profit. They're not going to cook us. So what do? We went hands off, right? And then obviously, it did get a little push up, but it then ended up coming back down. So this ended up being a sweep of the upside, right? So once we swept the upside, remember, don't touch in the middle. We don't touch anything in the middle. So if it stayed in this range, leave it alone, right? So, but you did get some sort of breakdown retest. So there was a good 5, 10, 15, a little 20 minutes, right, of downside. So you could have caught that little rejection, but you had to trim at your equal lows because there was no continuation, right? So you had to be very aware. So when you're coming up with a game plan, you want to make sure that you're having your take profit. You want to have a stop. Not to say you need a price stop, because sometimes the price stops could get hit. Like if your stop's too tight. Let's say you went calls here, right? Let's say you got the calls on the open of this candle for whatever reason, right? And then you got in at 0.5, your stop was at 0.4 or something. If this was a quick candle, it possibly could have hit that stop. So what do you want to do? You need to have a stop mentally where the candle is going to close. So you tell yourself, hey, if this candle closes, and this is the reason why I got out earlier. I said, hey, if this candle closes red below that initial opening pump, I'm just gonna sell it, right? No matter if we recover, I can always get back in. You can always get back in, right? You can always get back in. It's not like, oh damn, I sold, I can't get back in, I missed a play. No, you can always get back in, right? And even if you miss the initial play, there's secondary plays, there's plays after lunch, there's end of day plays, right? You need to figure out what works best for you. So in this case, I had to take that profit, right? Mind you, we swung. So we swung inward $1, $2 in the money. I'm not going to take that risk, right? I'm not going to take that risk and be like, hey, well, maybe it can. Even though it did, of course, but that's what runners are for, right? And if you can't, if you're in that stage where, you're only trading one contract, that's fine, man, that's fine. Remember, base hits still put points on the board. Free throws still put points on the board, right? You don't need to shoot threes, aim for the home runs, you know what I'm saying? Hail Mary every single play, because more likely than not, it will cook you, right? Even though today and, the past week, it's been insane, right? With these crazy plays, even though it's been like that, it's still not. This isn't an everyday thing. This isn't something that just happens often. So you don't want to build that bad behavior and just practice that and keep doing it and keep swinging for the fences, keep swinging for the fences. Because even though this week you might see a lot of people on Wall Street bets, oh, I made bank every single day. That's cool. But if they're practicing that gambler's mindset, it's gonna be gone. There's a guy on Twitter. Something I forget, but he turned like $300 into 300,000 or something, and then it's like all gone because he had this gambler's mentality and he had this bias that he was so hard set on, and people are encouraging that, like, yeah, keep full port, go crazy. You don't do that, right? You don't ever do that. You want to protect yourself. You want to give yourself time to be right, time to be wrong, right? You don't need to just 100% every single day. This is just not how the market works, right? It's just not. So, and the market will humble you. It will humble you, right? And so you have to remember, even though I may come off as confident when I'm on live, or I get excited during trades. It's not that I feel like I know it all, or I feel like I got this in the bag. No. I still struggle. You know what I'm saying, with trying to, I got to tell myself, and that's another reason why I started doing YouTubes again, because it helps me, right? I go back and watch these videos myself and be like, hey, what do you always tell them? Don't diddle in the middle, right? So what am I not gonna do? I can't be trading in the middle, telling y'all not to trade in the middle. So what am I gonna do? Oh, matter of fact, y'all got it. I'm gonna get off live. This is what our triggers are, right? Breakdown, retest, this, and this. This is our triggers. If I see something, I'll drop it in the Discord, you know what I'm saying? Or people hit me up individually. Hey, what do you see here? Ooh. If that's the case, we'll catch it, right? But if not, you don't want to, because that was my biggest problem. I would be so up in the beginning of the day, and then by the end of the day, I'm down, right? I'm trying to revenge trade, and that's just, it's due to me not knowing when to walk away, me not knowing, there's no continuation here. So what am I doing, right? There's no continuation to the upside or the downside. So this is just ping ponging, right? No, that is not price action I want to trade anyway. Like I said, if you're a scalper, that's up to you. You know, you could have caught, you know, if it's according to your plan, like I said, if it's according to your plan, then hey, you do you. If it works, I hope it does. I hope you outbank, of course. But I'm saying as far as, um, you know, overall, you need to just practice good behavior, man. You need to practice all of this because, yeah, like I said, you just don't know. You know, we don't know, right? So, but we do know is these charts, right? We know what the charts are talking about, and the chart said, hey, we're gonna hold in this buying algorithm, this buying channel, and when we're not, we're out, right? You can set an alert for this. You can actually set an alert. So when the price exits the channel. So we exit the channel, set an alert, you walk away, right? And if you get another entry, like I said, if today we were gonna get another entry here, it would have looked like this: breakout, retest, and we would have continued up past, you know, all this right here and continued to go up to the highs. If that did not happen, there was no reason to be in this market, right? There was no reason to be chasing any of this. You know, you can be up bank and then still lose a lot of money. So there's no reason to be in any of this. Meta, like I said, that was crazy. When that was a little end of day lotto, man, I just posted and I was like, hey, I got a lotto for us. Let's do it. Let's lock it in, man. So that one was pretty crazy. Let me see where I put that at. Yeah. Right here. Meta 685 lotto. Yeah, that one was tough. That was tough. Definitely had to put that in there. You feel me? Yeah, this was crazy, man. 1K%. That was gorgeous. That was so fire. But but yeah, man. So definitely just practice that. If you had a bad week, you had a red week, rewatch all these videos from from last Sunday to now. And what have I been saying every single day? Stop trying to short this, right? Stop trying to short this market. If even if it doesn't make sense to us, it don't matter. It's not. It don't gotta make sense to us, right? Who said it had to make sense to us? Who are we? Right? We're not market makers. We don't control the market. We're retail, right? We just want to catch a piece of it. That's all we want, right? So when you see certain prices, especially now that we're going to new all-time highs every day, you have to be aware of your levels, right? Oh my phone. I'm zooming. Right. Okay. Cool. There was a floor. I mean, there was a ceiling right there in pre-market, right? We extended up. Where do we get a little, you know, a little price action at? Right up in here, right? We had some price action up in here, right? So it's like you know you have to adapt. You have to move like water. You have to just go along with it because if you don't, you get ran over, right? You either go along with it or you get ran over. Um, but yeah, so this weekend I'm gonna film like a what do you, like I guess like just an overall market video, right? I'm gonna film like a breakdown how to get it, you know, how to start set up your charts, you know, start to finish, or how I do it. I guess it'll probably be a live stream. It'll probably be a live stream. That way y'all can like interact, you know, have your charts up as well. You know, play a little tune, kick it, catch a vibe. Um, so I do that probably starting next week because like I said, I'm still in Los Angeles right now. So whenever I get back to Texas, I'll definitely do that. So definitely be on the lookout for those. And look, even right here, right when I was sharing this with the chat, I said, hey, this will be your game plan. The only way you can short this is if you get this continuation, right? This is the only way you can short that. Break down, retest, continuation. If that does not happen, you can't take it, right? You just can't. Or you not you can't take it. You can take it from here to here. You could, but you can't be holding no shorts in this market. And we've talked about this, like I said, every single day. Every red candle, it gets just. I'm talking about straight demolished, picked up, right? So if that's the case, if that's what we're doing, you know, stop fighting it, right? I'm gonna keep telling y'all that. Stop fighting it. When it's time for a pullback, trust me, I promise you, we will catch it. I will be here for you. I will hold your hand through it, right? I got you. Don't trip, man. I got you. As long as I'm here making these videos, I got you. So look, like I said, man, look at that. You don't fight these aggressive buying, right? As long as it's in that channel, once it breaks, I'm out. I'm cool. I don't care. Mentally, I've already told myself this. I've already told myself I'm gonna get out at this, right? Or even like I always say, trim into the strength. When we're getting these kind of candles, three green, four green, directly straight up, I'm trimming. I'm taking profit, right? I'm looking at, all right, cool. I'll leave my 2DTs. I'll sell my zeros, right? I'll trim these heavy, or I'll do this. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be in a million plays. You don't got to catch every single play. I don't got to catch the upside, the downside, the upside. You know, I don't have to do all that. You need one good move, right? And you need to decide when you start trading what's going to be your thing, right? Are you going to be at the beginning of the day? Are you going to be middle of the day? You're going to be end of day? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just be on the charts all day. That's not why we became traders, right? We became traders so we can go do stuff, right? We in the middle of the day. If I want to go to the beach, I'm gonna go to the beach, right? Make my money, go get some food, right? Walk away. So when I get off and I'm like, hey, y'all get out of this. I'm not just saying that because I don't want y'all to be in any trades. No, I'm seriously like, hey, this is not gonna be good. We're seeing it with our eyes. We're seeing, look, even here. This is where we got out, right? This is where I officially was like, all right, I'm gonna cut it off, right here, right before it broke, because look, we had the breakdown, retest, uh, stalled, did not go higher, right? Boom, did not go higher. So after that, that's all I need to see. That's all I need to see. No continuation. I'm not trading it. I'm not touching it. Don't need to, right? We went to our higher time frames. What do we see? Still no continuation. So you got to be patient with it. So when we did get that sweep, you still should not have been chasing this. And I always told y'all, breakout, retest, and continuation above the high. You know what I'm saying? Breakout, continuation. So if none of those things are happening, don't be trying to trade. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to trade, because they've kind of caught people a lot this week. Because at first, the beginning, it was squeezing all the way into the close, but Thursday, was it Thursday or Wednesday? Was it both? No. We squeezed into Wednesday, but Thursday, yeah, Thursday is when we didn't quite get it, but we did have a falling wedge, which is why we swung in the first place, because we had how long was this? From 9 to 1. So we had a 4-hour falling wedge. For 4 hours, price was compressing. Where? Above the breakout. Above the breakout, right? So we had the price doing this bullish setup, falling wedge into support. Buy time. What do I tell you guys? You ain't gotta always play zeros. Of course we catch zeros on the line. It's fun, right? It's fun. But this is a market where it allows us to play zeros and to capitalize very quickly. But go back and watch the videos. What do I always say? I'm out my zeros. 34%. I don't leave them running. I'm out zeros. I'm always gonna hold my 1 and 2 DTEs a little longer, right? Because I can breathe. I don't have to watch a 1 minute candle go like this and my 30% go to 8%. You feel what I'm saying? So have a game plan. You don't have to always play zeros. You know what I'm saying? If I say, oh, I'm gonna take these zeros, if you know it's gonna stress you out, by time. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't gotta always be in the same place I'm in. It's cool. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll do a game plan video this weekend, and we talk about what we look like for the next week. But yeah, as far as this week, yeah, this is crazy. Look at this. This is crazy. This is literally 3 green soldiers. Huge. This is probably the craziest candles I've ever seen. Right? This was during the Trump tariff. That was the craziest one I've ever seen. But this right here is crazy too. So yeah. Keep it simple. I'm glad y'all here to take this journey with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's all bank together. Let's go out and get this money up, man. So let's continue to get this money. And be on the watch out for the weekend video. I'm gonna do a full recap. We're gonna talk more mental, tips, tricks, all that stuff. We're gonna get real granular, and we're gonna get into it. So I'll see y'all, man. Be careful. Like I said, if you did have a red week, it's okay. We'll be back at it Monday, right? Like nothing ever happened. So if you did have a bad week, it's okay. It's cool. Yeah, and we're gonna go over, like I said, we're gonna go over some of these charts, some of my more higher time frame charts on the weekend, so I can show y'all what I'm looking for next, right? And like I said, even from a few days ago, I said, hey, we're in this channel, we're in this buying channel. I'm not shorting it, right? I'm not shorting it if we're going up in a channel. Why would I do that? Even on pullbacks, I might catch a little scalp, yeah, of course. Or when we gap up, I'll take a scalp to close the gap, of course. Especially if I start seeing it come down to the gap. Why not, right? We already have a little target. I'll go light size, super small size, and you still smack 100% on that, right? So, yeah. So we're still. I think we still possibly have a little more room up. Come up, test this trend line. Hopefully Monday we'll probably gap up. Swung a little, small something, little something. But yeah. So we'll go over everything this weekend. Like I said, don't beat yourself up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people either missed this or still ended up right this week, and that's it's okay. But we're gonna work on that, right? I'm gonna help y'all with that mentality, and just helping y'all with zooming out, right, and being more patient and kind of cutting out that noise, cutting off everything. Everybody said, well, somebody's saying this, shh, quiet. Watch the charts, right? The charts are gonna give you the answers. So if you want to keep breakout retest, and it looks like it's kind of getting one right now in the little after hours. We'll breakout retest. So if we gap up over it Monday, we already gonna know the game plan, right? Either we're gonna gap up, hit this, come down, and possibly fill the gap, or we gap up, fill the gap, and then probably hit it. We'll see how it goes. We'll be on, like I said, we'll do this Sunday night, see where pre-market opens up and stuff like that. So Yeah, yeah. So if you need, I say like if you need a little, tutor, mentor, stuff like that, mentorships, or just want to, just got any questions in general, man. My Discord's in the link. Hit me up, and hope you guys have a great weekend. It's been amazing. It's been a fun first week back on YouTube, man. I love it. I love it here, man. So drop a like, subscribe. I'll see y'all.